Hey everybody, it's Linda. Give you a little bit of update on what happened on Tuesday when I lost my trailer axle. Um, Everybody has been just amazing. Everybody that I have encountered. I contacted and initiated a claim with my insurance company later on Tuesday afternoon after the incident took place. And then on Wednesday morning, I did get a phone call from my insurance claim representative. Having talked with him for well over, I would say, an hour, maybe close to an hour, I ended that phone call feeling pretty deflated, pretty discouraged, but it was mostly just because we didn't have numbers, obviously. We needed the adjuster to get out into the field and check out my trailer. So I just, being a person of faith and belief, I just prayed. I just said, Lord, this is in your hands, not mine. And I'll wait and see what unfolds. So thinking that worst case scenario would be they would total out the camper. The biggest concern in that initial phone call, and it was my initial concern right following the incident, is yes, the axle failed. However, with the violent nature of the twisting and the swaying back and forth and the back end of the trailer literally lifting up off the ground, I thought automatically frame flex. And so that would have been worst case scenario, is that they would total it because of frame flex if it did indeed take place. The part of discouragement that I felt from the conversation with my representative was more of, well, if it was the axle simply breaking, that would not be a covered issue, which then if it was simply that, I would just have to pay out of pocket. But so there were things that were going through my mind, things that I needed to take care of. What are my next steps? Well, my next steps were I have to wait for the adjuster and see what they have to say. That evening on Wednesday evening, I have my insurance app on my phone, and I noticed that there was an appointment scheduled, or an appointment for Thursday by an adjuster. I knew what the adjuster's name would be, but so Thursday morning, I made several phone calls related but not directly related to this appointment. Once I finished those conversations, then I called my insurance representative once again and said, hey, I see that there is a scheduled appointment for today. Can you tell me or give me an idea when? So my rep contacted the adjuster, and the adjuster's return comment was, oh, I'm just pulling in right now. And I have keys to my camper, so should the adjuster need access to the inside, he would not be able to get into it unless I met him and had the keys. And fortunately, the hotel that I'm staying in is directly across the road from where my camper trailer is being stored. So I hightailed it over there, and just as I was ready to pull through the gate and meet him at my camper, the insurance car with the adjuster was getting ready to pull out of the yard. Pardon me. So he was coming this way, I was coming this way, and we just stopped and rolled down our windows, and I said, well, what can you tell me? And he said, Well, the bad news is we will be totaling your WolfPup travel trailer. And I said, can we just pull over to the side in the parking lot and we can have a further conversation? Of course, yes, he did, and we did. Initially hearing those words, even though I was prepared to potentially hear those words, hearing the word totaled, and right now I'm getting a little emotional because it's been my home for the last 3 years. Sorry. So then he shared a story with me, which to me is so remarkable. He said on the day of the accident, my accident, that Tuesday, he had a day off from work. And so he was in his car with his family, and they happened to be in the traffic tie-up line of traffic that I created from my incident. And being an insurance adjuster, he basically kind of looked at the camper as he was driving by and just said, frame flex. You know, this thing's going to be totaled or whatever. But how ironic that he ended up being in that traffic line, and what were the chances of him getting this job? So, I mean, it was just amazing how everything from start to finish, the people that responded immediately, from the lady that knocked on my door to the ambulance driver that happened to be in the area and stopped, and the Baton Rouge or state of Louisiana highway helper. I don't know what their formal term is, but that's what we refer to them in the state of Minnesota. And then to have the adjuster actually be in the line of traffic as well, I mean, it just blows me away. And again, I am a person of faith, so I just believe God just had his hands in every detail. So I'm very grateful to have not been injured. My truck appears to be just fine. And no, the most important is there were no other people involved in this situation. So things can be replaced. The only thing that was damaged in the trailer or destroyed was my travel Berkey water filtration system. That thing flew out of its storage space when I travel, and it landed on the floor, and it just really got bent. Just probably from the force and then landing. It's not a real sturdy metal, but that has been reported as well to insurance. But other than that, you know, I lost plates. Well, I didn't lose them, but they fell on the floor. It did not break. My dry goods cabinet, a lot of the contents flew out, like the canned goods and like a box of rice, but things didn't, like the box of rice didn't explode or spill. Or the worst thing that happened was I had a full bottle of Worcestershire sauce, and it landed and it just burst upon impact on the floor. And so I have a rug runner and a little rug carpet square in the entryway. Those were just soaked in Worcestershire sauce. So, and the camper smelled like Worcestershire sauce. So, you know, that was probably the worst of it. But I am just so grateful everything else was fine. I mean, I checked my guitar, even my golf clubs flew off the top bunk area, and they were tucked kind of in the back, so it gives you some indication of how serious the flexing and everything that was going on in the trailer during those moments. But they flew off and landed on the floor. I did not have them in their actual golf bag. I had them in like one, those bag chairs. Instead of putting the chair back into this bag, I put my golf irons in them. And I just bought those late summer, so they're fine. They're fine. Everything else, all my electronics and everything on the bed remained on the bed. That's my my primary storage area. All of that is good. Yeah, the hiccups. But other than that, and then obviously the freezer, I would be losing my freezer goods. I had frozen meals and chicken and beef and that type of thing up there. But basically, once the trailer had been towed, I got to go into the camper and grab clothing and whatever I needed for a hotel, and just trying to take the essentials. But I did take the guitar so that I can control the humidity and the temperature levels, and it's not just sitting in a stagnant area. But other than that, everything I've got loaded in the back of my truck that I needed. But so what's next? Next steps are I've actually already have payment for the trailer itself, and I will be receiving reimbursement from my insurance carrier for all of my hotel stays. I believe cancellation of my campground reservations that I made. While I plan to go to Florida to visit family, I plan to go to North Carolina to visit family, and I was planning on going to Kentucky to visit friends. And in addition, I had made some reservations to potentially find a new venue to go to in the winter months, as opposed to going to Arizona all the time. So, but long story short, the insurance is being very good to me. I will tell you that I have Progressive insurance. They have expedited this entire process, and I was hoping on Friday. Well, my biggest concern was originally that I wanted to make sure when I clean out the camper of my stuff that I keep the new mattress that I had purchased in August. And obviously I can't remove solar panels that were just installed on my camper because of the heaviness of them and how secure they are, but also at the angle that they are on the way the camper is positioned in the tow lot. It would not be safe for me to even try to get up there and remove them. And I don't do roofs, so that's just a no-brainer. I actually got a very excellent deal on those two 400-watt panels. Purchased them at Santan Solar down in Gilbert, Arizona. And they, as I mentioned, very affordable, so if I need to replace them, it won't be a problem. So next steps are, okay, the camper has been reimbursed. I've been in touch with some people. I have actually scouring hours and hours of the internet and have zeroed in on a travel trailer that might be my next home. It is a 2023 travel trailer. It is the last one in inventory at this particular dealership in Minnesota. And I'm very interested in and like all of the specs. So I did place a refundable deposit down, so it will not get sold before I return to Minnesota and have that opportunity to see it in person, actually physically walk through it and look through everything. So that, and that's one camper. Then it doesn't mean I'm going to get it, but it's a very strong possibility based on my findings once I've gone through it. So the next step is I have rented a U-Haul cargo trailer. I will be picking that up tomorrow, which will be Monday. I have already asked permission from the towing lot recovery service if it's permissible for me to drive my truck into their lot with the cargo trailer, so it'll be much easier for me to unload the travel trailer contents into the cargo trailer. And they said absolutely they would allow me to do that. So I don't know if that's a common occurrence, just because they had to contact the main manager to find out if I could do that, and that was an affirmative. So I'm very, very pleased about that. There's, traveling full time, it is my home. My travel trailer is not, I don't consider it overloaded. I'm very cautious how much is inside of the camper. A lot of things I do carry in my truck as well, but it's going to take time. I've purchased some contractor bags, and I've purchased some simple smaller boxes, and some packing tape and some bubble wrap. Basically it's linens, and there's some file folders, personal papers, plates and pots and pans, not a lot of pots and pans, but clothing items that are in bins, just basic stuff you need to have every day to live. So I don't think it's going to take long to really pack up everything. The thing that's going to take caution and care and time will be when I remove the solar components that were just installed. I've been in touch with my friends Chris and Darren, who installed the system for me. They will be available to me if I need any phone, like a help desk. They're going to give me phone support when it comes time to me disassembling the components underneath my bed, which involve the MPPT controller, the Renogy controller. It'll involve the two Vader, their 200 amp hour lithium batteries, the 3000 watt pure sine inverter, charge controller, shunt, or monitor shunt, all of those things. The good thing is, basically, once I have packed everything in the camper and got it loaded into the cargo, I will be able to simply lift up my bed and be able to work, kind of crawl in there and take my drill, hopefully just back out the screws. Everything was basically mounted on the inside wall of the camper. I've shared pictures of that. And just removal of screws. Once I've disconnected the lithium batteries, they told me go ahead and just clip wires. Wires, we can buy wire. So the plan in that regard is unload my possessions, unload the solar components, do whatever, do a big review, make sure I've got everything, and head back to Minnesota. The camper that I am looking at does indeed have solar. I don't know the absolute quality. I don't think it is the quality of the system that I installed in my own. My own is more stronger, or more, what am I trying to say? The one that I bought, like a 3,000 watt inverter as opposed to a 1,000 watt inverter. I don't know anything about this particular system until I actually see the camper. So I might have to just kind of make things work. And, you know, I mentioned that I'm thinking, I've been wanting to look for a different venue that I can volunteer, that might be closer to Florida or southern Georgia. And so now I won't have the opportunity to check out those opportunities. And because I'm keeping what solar components that I already purchased, means that after I'm done volunteering at the Corps of Engineer campground in northern Minnesota this coming summer, I will return back to Quartzsite, Arizona, and my friends have graciously said that they will reinstall it, and I'll be back up and running with how I was with my WolfPup travel trailer. So that's where I'm at right now. Lots going on, hours of phone calls and emails and text messaging and getting documents and scanning. I have a scanning app on my phone, scanning documents to get to my insurance rep. So hopefully by the time I return to Minnesota, hopefully by the end of this coming week, fingers crossed, I will finish up by submitting receipt for the U-Haul rental trailer and any hotel stays on the way back home. And hopefully everything will get finalized and closed out and call it good. And make concessions to visit this particular dealership where I have found this camper and see what happens. I do have to be at the Corps of Engineer campground in early May. I think like around the week of the 7th. So that being said, by the time I get up to my summer volunteer gig, I will have a totally different rig, and whatever I end up with, I'll be sure to share with you. Before I go, I want to thank everybody for your love, your prayers, the messages on YouTube, on my video. Thank you for new subscribers. You know, please don't expect a lot from me. I just do this for, you know, started it for my immediate family and friends, but the more the merrier. I'm not out for monetizing or anything, but I appreciate you sticking with me, and there will be plenty more to come. So that being said, please like, share, comment, subscribe, and don't forget, press that notification bell and you'll be notified when I upload my next video. So be blessed, my friends. Thank you. Bye-bye.